Go ahead, put it on real tight. Hope you brought your best tonight. They say they got the fireworks, yeah, they say they got the show. Here around the chutes, you're the best, so let's go.
This is Texas Toast. I'm your host, Miss Helen. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best from Texas.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Texas Toast. I'm your host, Miss Helen, and I'm super excited for this huge talent we have on the podcast today. Hello and welcome, Wynn Williams. How's your day?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Well, I was excited. I sat down once you were confirmed and set for the podcast. It was like probably last Friday evening. I know it was on a Friday, and I just turned your music on and started listening. And I mean, like I was having to pick my mouth up off the floor. I mean, just incredible stuff. But let's talk about your background so a lot of people listening can get to know you. It's an awesome story. You grew up in Weatherford, Texas, ended up at Texas A&M where you were on the rodeo team and you studied communications. So tell me about your days as a steer wrestler.
Oh gosh, I started in high school and I went to Weatherford College for a couple of years, my little hometown community college, and rodeoed there. And I got injured my sophomore year of college, so had to take the year off and had surgery, rehabbed it, and then I transferred to Texas A&M and rodeoed there for a semester. But I wasn't doing so well, and I think my injury was kind of in my head a little bit, and it was just a new region as well that I was rodeoing in. And so I decided that, I would be okay stepping away from rodeo. And so my rodeo career ended in college. And after that, I kind of just focused on school. And then my senior year of college, I started kind of playing around College Station and, the surrounding area, and decided upon graduation that I would give this a real shot. And it's been, I guess this is year number 6. So it's been, I've been really blessed.
It was ideal for you to study communication, such an important area to study, and especially coming in handy for you now in so many ways.
Absolutely. I tell people I use it every day. So
yes, we all do. I think communications is so very, very important. So looking at your background and your roots growing up in Weatherford, and understand that some of your musical ability comes from family background. I believe your grandfather was a musician.
He was a musician. Yeah, he played all over kind of this DFW area and maybe abroad too. I come from a musical family. Grew up in Church of Christ singing a cappella stuff, and then whenever I was in high school, I joined choir. I was in choir for 4 years, and just always sang as a young kid. My parents sing, my sister sings. So it just I guess it kind of runs in the family. I'm just the only one that decided to try it out for a career.
And that was straight out of college, or were you still playing while you were in college, like little places there at College Station?
Yeah. So I started playing guitar in high school, and I just kind of, played little hometown shows and stuff like that right after I graduated high school. And here and there we travel around to rodeos, and I just play at the trailers or whatever. And then, like I said, my senior year of college is whenever I really started to get more focused on, the business side of things. And that means going around and playing a bunch of shows. So it really wasn't until college that I decided that I was going to try and take this thing full time.
So when you were in the sport of rodeo, I know I've had a lot of rodeo cowboys on that. I'm sure you know a lot of them that are in the Texas country scene. Were there a lot of artists that you got to see while you were rodeoing and at the rodeos that maybe influenced you?
Yeah, I got to see a bunch of people, not necessarily at college rodeos, but at pro rodeos. I've seen a ton of people. Sitting here, I guess I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head, because as a young kid, you're probably focused on finding a dance partner.
That's right. That's exactly right.
But I think I saw Josh Ward and Mike Ryan and John Wolf as a young kid, and then And then whenever I was in college, I got exposed to, Cody Johnson and William Clark Green and Aaron Watson and Shane Smith and the Saints, and just started really immersing myself into that kind of music, and here we are, and I've pretty much opened for all those guys. So it's been a pretty full circle moment. And actually the guy that influenced me the most, I would say, would be Josh Turner. And in high school, I was a huge, I could probably sing every single word to Josh Turner songs. And just I guess it was last year before last, I can't remember, we opened for Josh, so it was really a full circle moment there, and we have another date coming up with him this summer. So it's been an interesting ride, and I'm just so thankful that I've been able to figure this out and do it for a living.
Yes. Well, let's talk about some of your music, because I have to tell you, I fell in love. I'm a coastal girl. I live on the coast down in Mexico. Oh my gosh. I love that song.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So tell me a little bit about that one.
Yeah, I wrote that song with my buddy Bryce Long. We needed kind of a drinking song, I guess you could say it is. And that's a true story. I went to Mexico on a senior trip in college, and we did all those things. We had ourselves a good time, and paid a couple $100 to some dude with a little boat, and we went out there and caught a couple barracuda, and it was a lot of fun. So anyway, I've told this, was actually writing via Zoom with Bryce, because I think we wrote that song on like Thursday or Friday, and we were going into the studio on Monday. So it was kind of a last minute, idea that I threw out there, and it just happened to work out. And then of course, whenever we got in the studio, it just turned into, something that I'm totally in love with. So I'm glad that you like it.
Yeah. And because we have a guide service. I fish a lot. Fishing is like coastal, saltwater fishing. So really that couple $100 would even pay your gas these days. So y'all throwing in a couple $100, even if it wasn't a certified captain, was not too bad of a deal for some kiddos.
Yeah, I don't know how much certification is going on down there in Mexico, but it was fun.
But you made it back. And then going back to some of your older music, one that just kept sticking with me and I kept going back to is from 2017, and it's You'll Write Mine.
Okay, yeah, that was my very first song I ever put out.
Great song.
Thank you very much.
So was that a song you tested the waters when you were playing in college, and did you write it or co-write on it?
Yeah, I wrote that song with Wes Barlow. He was a guy in College Station playing fiddle, and we played a ton of shows together. I was like, man, I got this idea. So we sat down and wrote it, and then we brought John Bauman out and put some tweaks on it. But anyway, yeah, that was my very first song I ever put out, and I was working Rodeo Houston. And I was working for Resistol, actually.
Oh, wow.
And I was working out there selling and shaping hats, and that song came out, and it was like my first, that was it. After I graduated in December of 2016, I worked Rodeo Houston. And then at that point, I just went full-time music. So that was a huge stepping stone for me. So I'm really glad you like that song. We still play that one at live shows.
I bet you do. So that was a good indicator of what was yet to come and probably what's still to come from you. And then let's move and talk about They Call Me Tornado, a song about the animal athlete. That's an awesome one. And I think that was kind of one that really kind of got everyone's attention for you.
Yeah, that would be the song that everybody has resonated with. And it, I'm so thankful that people enjoy it. I wrote that one with my producer at the time, Roger Brown, and another buddy of ours, Tommy Connors. And I had this idea. I wanted to write a cowboy song because I just, stopped rodeoing, and it was something that I, still love. But I wanted to write a cowboy song, but I was like, man, I really don't want to write about a cowboy. It's been done 1,000 times. So I had this idea. And so we sat down and wrote it. I just started playing a little melody on the guitar, and we hammered that thing out, and just I don't know, a couple hours, I think. And whenever we got in the studio again, it just kind of took a life of its own, and I'm real proud of that one too.
Yeah, I love that how because you know I like how you put the twist on it because anybody can sing or write about cowboys,
Oh
but
yeah.
that's why I really enjoyed that one so much. And ironically enough, I don't know if you've listened to the opening of our podcast, but John Stork's "The Ride" is our opener for our podcast.
All
And
right.
so yeah, it made me think of John's song when I was listening to that. So right now, let's talk about "Up to Date," Like the Wind.
Yeah, this is our current single right now. I filmed my very first music video for it, and it recently just got placed on CMT, which is awesome, cmt.com, which is incredible. So that song is the first of 5 songs total that kind of tell a whole story from, heartbreak to finding somebody new, to falling in love, to missing them so much, being out on the road as a musician, and then eventually coming around and turning that person into my wife. And my wife is actually playing the main girl in the next video. But
Awesome.
we filmed Like the Wind up in Lubbock and Slayton, Texas, and it's just gotten a great response. And I'm excited for not only Like the Wind, but for the next song we got coming out. So
I am too.
yeah.
Well, and Like the Wind, it's just such a good, strong, solid song.
Yeah. So Trent Willman and Corey Kent actually wrote that song. And
Oh, wow.
Whenever I heard it for the first time, I was like, man, that's a really cool song. I think I want to cut that one. And whenever they sent it to me, it was just a demo, and it sounded a lot different than the way that we recorded it. But we put some of that, we put heavy steel in it and fiddle, and just tried to give it a little more country.
Doesn't Trent Willman just amaze you with his songwriting abilities in all the songs he's put out?
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's awesome.
So I know that as we were coming on, you were talking, I know you were briefly just talking up you're going to have some follow up in a series to Like the Wind. So we were discussing that you have been in the studio.
Yeah, so we recorded all these songs all in one session, and down in Mexico and Long Gone, which we put out last year. But for these songs right here, we recorded them all the same day, and the next one is going to be a song called "I Love Her for Leaving," which is the song that I wrote again with Bryce Long. It was the first song he and I wrote together, and I'm really excited for this one to get out. This is one of my favorite songs I've ever written. So we're just riding this Like the Wind train for just a little bit longer, and then we're going to start promoting "I Love Her for Leaving" here pretty soon.
That's exciting. It looks like you've definitely got a plan together, and that's amazing.
Yeah, it's it's crazy these days to think about having to strategize so much when you're putting out music, but it's pretty important, especially now. Like everything's so fast. It's like we just put out Like the Wind, we're already talking about putting out another song, but you have to be that way. So I've got a really good team that kind of reels me in. I'm Mr. Impatient, but they'll say, well, what if we tried this? What if we did this? Most of the time they're right. So
Yes,
I've had to really, just give them an opportunity to just slow me down and say, hey, we can do these things, and it'll be bigger if you can wait. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm just taking the advice of my team.
Yeah, you were like reading my mind. You were segueing me into the next question, which is who's a part of your team, your band, who produces you, who's your biggest cheerleader? And I just threw a whole bunch at you.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a number of people that come out and support us all the time on the road. I call them kind of the OGs because they've been there since I started. But on my team at the moment, we got John Lytle. John Lytle's our manager, and he manages Gary Allen and Gene Watson. and then another artist and writer in Nashville named Jordan Gray. And I'm his first independent artist that kind of does this Texas regional thing. So it's been a learning curve for Lotto management. But I think we're starting to, really hit our stride together. And I'm really looking forward to the future with Lotto management. And then also we were with WME pre-pandemic, and then everything slowed down so much, and they made changes to their business strategy and their operations. And so we decided that it might be in our best interest to go out and hustle up some stuff on our own. So I've been booking myself for the past, better part of 2 years almost. And I've had some help too. We started working with a guy named Trey Newman, who's kind of started a bunch of, a number of acts over in the past. So, it's definitely a group effort to try and get that momentum back to where we were pre-COVID. And then Trent Willman is producing me as well. So,
awesome.
And I've got a great, good group of writers that I like to write with. And, we always typically produce something that we're really proud of. So I've got a great team. Now it's just a matter of getting those, pieces all put together. And the timing has to be right and all that kind of stuff this whole thing is all timing, it seems like. So you just keep on trucking and doing your thing, keep your head down and put your blinders on and, try and do what you do.
That's exactly right. Just keeping it moving forward, because Lord knows you have the talent and you have the product and you have the music. So as far as your live shows, are you playing full band?
Oh yeah. We're rocking and rolling full band and have been for, since 2018. It's, we've had a few things change this past year. I had some guys decide that they're going to take a different career path, and they moved on from touring. And so we've made some changes on the band front, but we're still out there hustling, playing full band shows. And I've been able to, pull some private events here recently too, which have been really helpful, and, doing some solo stuff as well. So it's an ever changing business model at the moment. But again, you gotta kind of block out the rest of the noise and just do what you do and hope that people come to it, or you can get it out to people,
Yeah. Yes, getting it out. But I can guarantee you, I know everybody's I look for great things coming with your music. That's why I was so excited to have you on the podcast. So when you're not on the stage or in the studio or working music, what are some of your other passions or pursuits, if you have time for that?
Yeah. So I during COVID, I learned that I really love doing yard work, probably because my wife loved doing yard work. So I kind of got wrangled into it, but I started really enjoying it, and, planting flowers and, doing some landscaping and taking care of the house. I built a new shed, very first structure I've ever built, and started doing some woodworking stuff too. So I just really enjoy working with my hands and, doing some of that stuff too. But I'm also a big movie buff, so I don't have a problem laying on the couch and watching some movies too. So.
Oh, that's nice. But I bet when you're doing that those little projects that you were talking about, do like lyrics start running through your head or melodies?
Oh yeah, that never ends. I mean,
all the time. So looking into the future, any big shows coming up for you?
Yeah, we have some big shows that we're looking forward to. I'm not sure if they've been announced yet, so I don't know if that I can speak to those. But yeah, this summer is going to be some fun shows. Seems like towards the end of summer we start getting some bigger stuff where some of those national acts will come down to Texas, and we'll start to get to open for them. And we've been playing lots of shows around Texas and in the region. So all my dates are on my website, WynnWilliamsMusic.com. So hopefully, people can go out there and check that out. And I also have a really cool platform now where I can actually text people. So they can text me, if you're listening, everybody, nice. 817-241-5452. And they can text me and ask me any questions or whatever. I can just have a conversation about, like, how's your day going? But I can use that and kind of push out notifications to folks and say, hey, we're playing, if you're within 50 miles or whatever, we can say, hey, we're playing at Floor's Country Store or whatever
Right.
on this date. So hopefully, you'll come out and see us. So
again, there's that communications.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, before I let you go, one last question. If you were a cocktail, what would you be?
An old fashioned, baby.
That's so far as winning the survey. Old fashioned's running away on the Texas Toast. Well, thank you so much. I look for great things. I'll be following your music up the charts and looking for some shows. Thank you, Wynn Williams.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
She knew where I was from as she left, I dare to say.